So the next presentation today will be shared by Torge Lahrsen, the co-founder of encentive. He will share with us the demand-side flexibility using solar and how it helps bring down energy bills for industrial companies and also help the grid. Torge, welcome to TaiyangNews. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for hosting me today and that I'm able to tell you a little bit more about the super important topic of demand-side flexibilization, demand-side management in the new world of energy, of renewable energy. I will quickly share my screen so that we can run through my presentation. I hope you can see it now. Awesome. So yeah, as I said earlier, our main topic is to rethink energy management for C&I companies. I think we talked a lot about how to produce renewable energy, but I mean, in the end, we are not just producing renewable energy to produce it, but we are producing it to consume it at some point in time. And here we have a big shift happening in our energy systems with the introduction of renewable energy sources. Our energy grids and our energy system as a whole was designed in a way that we produce energy in a very controllable way from fossil-based sources. So what we did in order to stabilize the grid was always to balance production and consumption by letting the production following the consumption side. In the new world of renewables, this needs to shift by 180 degrees because we need to find ways in order to consume energy when it's actually available from renewable sources, as we can't control the renewable sources anymore in the way as it was possible with fossil-based energy production. And this is exactly where we approach industrial customers and help them to mitigate the volatility risk of renewables, but also to harness opportunities that lie within this shift. And this is exactly where we come into place with our software platform FlexOn that I want to introduce you to right now. But maybe we start off with the problem for industrial companies in this new energy world. So the energy system with the introduction of more renewables is not just getting more greener on the one hand, which is good, but it's also getting more volatile, more dynamic, and more decentralized. And this is causing a lot of trouble in our current existing energy system as a whole, that is also reflected in current challenges for industrial companies as part of this energy system. We have, on the one hand, a long-term investment risk. So a lot of industrial companies really need to change the way how they consume energy through the investments that they do in their infrastructure. So they definitely need to move away from gas. And the only way to do it, right now at least, is to electrify. And this electrification, this investment into new assets for electrification, into power to heat systems, etc., is causing a lot of difficulties because the energy market is a different one than the gas market. And you really need to think about cost risks long-term in a different way. On the other hand, they also need to invest in their procurement portfolio, not just in the sense that they look at other market products, but also that they think about how I can produce energy locally on my local site. So this is kind of the long-term perspective on this. And then we also have a short-term perspective on this, depending on prices, because prices are not just increasing all the time, they are also getting more and more volatile, which is also putting a lot of pressure on cost planning for these industrial companies, because they don't really know anymore how much they have to spend on energy at the end of the year, making it even more difficult to procure energy from the markets, while typical market products, as we know it from before, are not available in a good sense anymore. For example, this typical base and peak distribution. So companies are forced to go more and more into short-term procurement markets, which makes planning difficult and also increases risk. What we want to encourage with industrial companies, however, is that the energy transition is not just a thing of risk and where you really need to mitigate this risk or manage this risk. It's also a huge opportunity, because the graph that I have that I brought with me here shows what opportunity relies within the energy transition. Here you see the marginal cost per megawatt hour in euro per different source of energy produced. And you see, of course, that the fossil-based or the traditional energy sources are by far the most expensive ones, while the renewable energy sources, especially wind and PV, of course, are way cheaper. The only problem is that they are not as available or as controllable anymore as the fossil-based sources are. And exactly here we see a big chance, because if you as a company are able to consume energy exactly at that point in time when the cheap energy, the cheap renewable energy is available, you can create for you a lot of competitive advantages that make sense to harness and actively seek for. The solution that we offer here is Flexon, as I mentioned in my introduction. Flexon is a software-based control center for energy management that uses AI and automation to help our customers navigate the energy transition with ease and consume energy fully automatically when it's greenest and cheapest for them. And with that, we are able to reduce energy costs by more than 20% right now, and CO2 emissions by more than 30%. And how we do it is something that I explain you on the next slide here. Because we understand our customer site, our customer's industrial location, as a local energy portfolio that consists in certain energy consuming assets and also certain energy producing assets. In the case of our customer, this is mostly the PV system. Furthermore, there's an interface, of course, with market products like spot market procurement, PPAs, etc., that can be included into this kind of energy portfolio. But let's start with the energy consuming assets. Here we have certain assets that are able to be flexibilized in a very efficient way, and where our specialization lies is, for example, thermodynamic assets. So we are working with cooling machines, with freezers, with power to heat systems, heat pumps, for example, e-boilers, etc., to harness existing flexibility potentials in order, for example, to increase self-consumption locally, to reduce grid fees by doing peak shaving, to follow market prices or optimize on market prices, and also improve the general efficiency of such systems. We can do it also simultaneously in one optimization scheme, kind of, to always find the cost optimized point of energy consumption for our customers, timing wise, was also in the amount of energy that they are consuming. We have three approaches or three parts in our software that are combined in order to harness this optimization potential. The first one is getting all the data on one platform. That means that with our software, we connect to all energy relevant systems or optimization relevant systems in a local context, and get all the data in real time on our platform. And we extend then this database with real-time data from markets, from the weather side, and all other kinds of dynamic impacts that are relevant for the energy consumption of our customer. The second part is then that we need AI to structure, analyze, and also forecast this huge amount of data. And we do that by looking at individual assets, like, for example, a cooling machine, but also at the full location or certain asset groups, where we do forecasts on heat consumption, on cold energy consumption, on electricity consumption, as well as electricity production coming from the PV system, for example. Having this data and this forecast in place, we come to the third part of our software that includes the creation of optimized schedules on asset level. That means that we create an optimized schedule, how, for example, a cooling machine should run, under consideration, of course, of all relevant limitations like temperature, like technical limitations, etc., that we need to comply with, and then are able to shift electricity consumption over time by harnessing existing flexibility potential in the existing infrastructure and optimize for certain targets that we've set with the customer. And the good thing is that we can execute these optimized schedules fully automatically 24/7 around the year. So we have a fully automated optimization running that helps the customer to reduce energy costs and significantly decarbonize by consuming a big amount of renewable energy compared to systems that are not optimized. Maybe to introduce you a little bit to our results that we currently have with our customers. So right now we are working with more than 40 industrial sites. Our customers are coming from the food industry, coming from the raw material industry, coming from manufacturing industry. So all these energy intensive industries that are consuming a lot of heating, a lot of heat, a lot of cooling, a lot of other flexible energy consumers that they are working with, where we can help them to optimize their energy costs. And what I brought you here is an example of a refrigerated warehouse. I think that is one of the more obvious examples where we use the refrigerated warehouse as an energy storage system. So the good thing is that our customer doesn't need to install any kind of further assets. They just need their existing infrastructure and can work with it in a more intelligent way to save energy costs. And what we have connected with this customer is a cooling machine, is a heat pump, is a PV system, 600 kilowatt peak, and also the main meter point. And we have been able to reduce overall the energy cost here by 23%, which is a lot for this customer, coming from reducing grid fees, increasing self-consumption, and optimizing on market prices as well as efficiency. And especially the last point is super interesting, because with our solution, our customer is able to even extend his PV system by a couple of kilowatts, because he is able to harness even more renewable energy in form of cool energy in his warehouse, which makes it super interesting to even overbuild a little bit if the roof or the local site is allowing for it. So this is where we are working on right now, but we have also other customers that are producing food that are within raw materials like concrete or steel or metals, or even within plastics and paper. Finally, a couple of words about us as a company. So yeah, I'm one of the co-founders. I'm managing everything around sales, around marketing, around fundraising, while my other two co-founders are managing the technical side. Daniel is doing all the engineering, because we really understand what is happening on the asset level. It's super important. And then we have Sasha, who's doing everything around optimization, data science, and software development. Right now, we are a team of more than 18 already, engineers, mathematicians, data scientists, and developers. We are located in Hamburg, Germany, and have been founded end of 2020. As I said, our expertise relies especially within heating and cooling, but we are also connecting to other assets like charging infrastructure, CHP systems, etc. We are, as I said, working with a lot of customers in the industrial area, have a couple of partnerships and a lot of participation in the whole environment, and a lot of very strong investors that are backing us from here. That's everything from my side. Our target is always to combine economic and ecological goals. I think this is how we can move forward the energy transition and deploy even more PV systems, especially with C&I companies, by making the business case even more attractive for them with active demand side management. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Torge. That was a very comprehensive but very crisp presentation. So just one question. You're based out of Germany?
Exactly.
Right now your operations are in Germany, or you plan to go beyond the country to Europe?
Right now our customers are all in Germany, but of course we are right now actively looking also for projects abroad, for example, the neighboring countries. We have a couple of partnerships that are going into this direction. So we are definitely open also for projects out of Germany.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so much, Torge. I request you if you could please join the chat. There may be some questions for you there. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I have to move, but you can always reach me via my email or via my phone number or via our website. Always available for questions and discussion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.